Chapter 15. Forgive or fester. Forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past. Lily Tomlin, actress, writer, comedienne, absurdist. When is the last time you physically hurt yourself? What did you do to get the pain to stop? And how long did you wait to do something about it? When we're in physical pain, we're usually extremely proactive about figuring out how to make it go away immediately because, it hurts. Even if we have to go through more pain from pouring a disinfectant that stings on an open wound or suffering through getting stitches, we do it right away because we're very focused on our ultimate goal, relief. When it comes to our emotional pain, however, we're apparently way more game for seeing just how much torture we can endure, wallowing in our guilt, shame, resentment, and self-loathing, sometimes for entire lifetimes. We prolong our misery by holding onto our ill feelings by badmouthing our mother-in-laws, fantasizing about pantsing our loudmouth, incompetent bosses in front of the whole office, unloading fault on other people, and rolling around in our minds the many reasons why our enemies are wrong and the many reasons why we're right. We relive our worst moments over and over and over instead of letting them go. We pick at the emotional scabs and refuse to let the healing happen and the pain subside. We won't rest until we've made sure someone else feels as badly as they've just made us feel. If I have to suffer my entire life, I will make sure you see how you've wronged me. We cling to the resentments that take up our brain space, waste our time, spin us out, keep us angry and depressed, and very often make us physically sick and sometimes even kill us because, why? Lugging around guilt, shame, resentment and self-loathing is the big snooze running the show, pitching a fit, demanding to be right and to be seen. Your higher self, on the other hand, could give a crap about what anybody else thinks or does because your higher self is madly in love with you and that's all that matters. Whatever happened, happened. Holding on will not change this fact, it will just keep the negative feelings from the past alive, keep you a prisoner to your pain and lower your frequency. The moment you decide to forgive and let your negative feelings melt away, you are on the road to freedom. Forgiveness is all about taking care of you, not the person you need to forgive. It's about putting your desire to feel good before your desire to be right. It's about taking responsibility for your own happiness instead of pretending it's in somebody else's hands. It's about owning your power by giving all your anger, resentment, and hurt the heave-ho. Holding on to resentment is like taking poison and waiting for your enemies to die. If you're having issues with someone you care about, explain how you feel without putting the blame on them, and regardless of the outcome, forgive them. Your talk may bring you closer together, or you may discover that you don't want to hang out with them as much or at all, but either way, if you want to be free, you have to let it go. If you're feeling hurt or resentful towards some a-hole you don't care about, free yourself and let it go instead of stewing on it or getting revenge by sending them a box of rats in the mail. Why do you care if they understand how lame they are or not? What good does that do you? And don't pretend it's because you want them to become a better person. You could care less. You want retribution or an apology or to be acknowledged as right. Get over it. Let it go. The longer you stay attached to being vindicated, the longer they hang around in your consciousness, stinking up your life. Do not fall prey to the false belief that by forgiving someone you're letting them off the hook. Because when you forgive someone, you let yourself off the hook. Forgiving isn't about being nice to them, it's about being nice to yourself. Okay, so great, yes, we get it. Now how do you actually let it all go? How do you forgive the stupid bastard? 1. Find compassion. Finding compassion for yourself or someone else who did something so awful is like pulling a bullet out of your arm. You may kick and scream and hate it at first, but, in the long run, it's the only way to start the real healing. One of the best tricks for doing this is to imagine the person you're resentful of as a little kid. Think of this little person acting out of fear, doing the best they can to protect themselves and attempting to deal with their own suffering in the only way they know how. People act poorly because they are in pain or confused or both. Understanding this and imagining the person who you want to behead as a sweet little innocent child with big puppy dog eyes will help you find compassion for them, which is the key to forgiveness. And same goes for anything you feel you need to forgive yourself about. You too are just a little bunny trying to work it all out. Find compassion for your sweet little, sippy cup self and let it all go. 2. Erase the other person from the equation. Imagine you've got 2 employees who don't show up for work on the same day, leaving you to handle everything yourself the morning before a huge presentation. One of them blows you off because she's hungover and just couldn't deal, but the other found out that her beloved mother suddenly died and had to run off to the airport, forgetting to call you in her emotional haze. Same exact result, you're ditched and left to do all the work yourself, 2 totally different ways to react. Which means you have a choice. One choice puts you at risk of busting an artery out of rage, the other opens your heart. Another option is to picture yourself hanging out in your brand new boat and an empty boat floats up and bangs into you, leaving a scratch. If there's nobody in the boat, there's nobody to get mad at and you deal with the situation in a much calmer, inquisitive way. If there's some more in driving that other boat who bangs into you because they're checking a text, however, you deal with it by going crazy and calling them a bunch of names related to genitalia. Again, same exact situation, you get a scratch on your boat, 2 different ways to react. When someone does something awful to you, take that person out of the equation so you can open yourself up to have a more pleasant and productive reaction and life. It's not about them anyway, it's about you. If you have nobody to be angry at, it's hard to be angry. Instead, it opens the incident up for questioning. Why did this happen? How was I involved? Why did I attract this to myself? How can I grow from this? How can I find compassion for everyone involved? When you're consumed by resentment, the lesson can't get through all your inner and outer screaming and yelling. Do yourself a favor and use irritating situations and people as opportunities for growth, not pain. 3. Decide you'd rather be happy than right. Sometimes the road to freedom lies in deciding you'd rather be happy than right. Yes, your idiot friend should have paid the parking ticket she got when she borrowed your car, or your brother shouldn't have shaved your dog while he was house sitting for you. But if they don't see it that way, instead of spinning out on it for days, wouldn't it feel so much better to just let it go? Is it really worth lugging around all those foul feelings just so you can be right? Think to yourself, what do I have to do or not do, or think or not think, right now, to be happy? And if the answer is let the jackass think he's right, then so be it. 4. Look at it from all angles. It's important to remember that everyone is living in their own self-created illusion, and that you have no idea what they are acting out or where they are coming from, so just because you think something is totally not okay, in their illusion, it could be fine and your way could be totally not okay. Look at it from another perspective, loosen your stranglehold on it being my way or the highway, let some air in, and you may be surprised how quickly resentment flies out the window. For example, you send your good friend a text about a dinner party you're having and invite them to come. She sends you a text back saying she can't make it because it's her birthday. You text her back an apology and sad face. You hear nothing back. So you text her happy birthday. You still hear nothing back, so you proceed to spin out. You go from feeling awful for hurting her feelings to wondering what kind of idiot adult still cares that much about her stupid birthday to thinking how much you'll have to spend on a present to relieve your guilt. Meanwhile, she accidentally dropped her phone in the toilet bowl after her last text to you. By being inquisitive about, instead of a slave to, your reactions to other people, you get the double whammy bonus of not only setting yourself up to forgive them much more easily, because you realize that it's really about you, not them, but you receive the great gift of being enlightened to some of your own not-so-special traits so you can grow and learn from them. Much more on all this in Chapter 21, Millions of Mirrors. In her brilliant book, I Mean It, Go Get It, Loving What Is, 4 Questions That Can Change Your Life, Byron Katie says, we don't attach to people or things, we attach to uninvestigated concepts that we believe to be true in the moment. For example, in the scenario above, instead of attaching to their truth that this person isn't answering your texts because they are upset, all you need to do is ask yourself, why am I freaking out over something that I have no proof is even true, or how would I feel if I didn't just assume that my friend is mad at me? You could literally be one question away from being happy in any otherwise upsetting situation. 5. Have a total shit fit. Go somewhere alone and far away from other people and beat the hell out of a pillow or a mattress or some other soft, inanimate object that won't hurt your fist or punch you back. Scream and yell about what a selfish little pig this other person is and go for it 100% until you're exhausted or someone calls the cops on you. Get it out of your system, totally and completely, and then let it go. 6. Remember that you won't even remember this. Try and think about someone who had you totally freaking out and all pissed off 3 years ago. Can you even come up with someone? If you can you get all worked up about them now? Whatever. 8. Love yourself. You deserve it.